Hi, my name's Sam. I'm not from a Christian background. It's not been a major part of my life, especially in my early years. I did go to a Christian school, but it was so strict it actually just did the opposite and put me off for quite a long time. The church was very staid and boring. I don't like saying that, but it was, and it put me off. I kind of always believed in God and thought there was someone there looking after us and watching over us, but I never put that label of God on it. I just didn't think about it like that. But then when I was about 25, I lost my partner for 5 years, and it just brought me to my knees. And of course, what's the first thing you do when someone passes away is you pray that they're in a better place. And that's what really started my journey to God. About 2 years ago, I suffered 2 slip discs, and literally for 6 months, the first 6 months, I was completely incapacitated. I couldn't move without screaming. I needed help to do everything. I lost my job, I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and I was just on my knees. I didn't know where to go, I didn't know what to do. I was having panic attacks, I couldn't get through the day. I was a complete and utter mess. It got to the point where one Friday afternoon I had a panic attack again, and I was just sitting in my car in a car park, unable to move, unable to talk. And I thought, this is enough, I need help now. So I went to see my dad. I knocked on his door, I went in, I said, "Dad, I need your help, I don't know what to do anymore." And he just looked at me and he said, "Don't say a word." He said, "I was coming home today about 2 o'clock in my car," and he said, "I had to pull over. My chest was tight, I couldn't breathe, I was panicking, I was crying, I didn't know whether I was coming or going." He said, I just had to pull over till it passed. And it passed, and I drove home, and he said, "That was you, wasn't it? That was you having that panic attack." I said, "Yeah, it was." I said, you didn't know that I've been having those panic attacks because I haven't told you." He said, "So what's that all about?" He said, "Oh, God gave me the vision." I was like, "Oh, okay, and what does that mean?" So he sat me down and he kind of explained about God and the Bible and what God wants from us and how to live your life and to be without fear. So I went away and I thought about it all weekend, and then on the Monday I woke up and I was free. Something came over me and I just felt amazing. All day, there was no fear, there was no panic, there was no worries. I was just on top of the world. And yeah, so since that day, I started going to church with my dad, and I started praying. I wanted to turn my life around. I sold my house and bought a new one complete with furniture, and had moved within a month, having my house been on the market for months and months and months, no interest. I started back to work for the first time with an employer, my mum, God bless you, who could account for my illness. So slowly I'm working my way back into working full time. I started an Alpha course to find out more initially. I started going to Highgrove. I then did Alpha again for a second time with the Highgrove people, and I'm just in a completely different place.
My name's Chanelle, and I was brought up in Highgrove Church from a young age and had on and off experiences of God as a child, just understanding of him, and just really felt in my heart that he was real and there was no doubts. At 11 I gave my heart to God and just had an amazing relationship with him. Just totally understood who he was and how much he loved me. But then at about 13 I started to look at the world, and I thought that living in the world was much more fun and that I would have a better time in the world. So I started to follow things like drinking, and all my friends changed, and sort of whole Christian life as I knew it was gone. And for many years just partying in and out of many different jobs, started taking drugs and just thought I was having a great time, but kind of always knew deep down that I wasn't happy and that God was always missing. When I fell pregnant with my daughter Amira, it was a real time where I had to stop how I was living, and it just gave me a time to really reflect, and I was just so peaceful anyway that it was sort of an easy time to be open to hearing about God, whereas before I just chose not to be open to hear. And people started to come sort of from church, sort of Christians were turning up from everywhere, and so I sort of had to give in to my story that he's not relevant and he's not interested, because God was sending all these people. And so I finally went back to church and kind of had to acknowledge that, well, yes, he is real and how I've been living is not right, and kind of accepted that. But it's taken another little while to accept him back into my heart. For me, baptism's about sort of following what Jesus has commanded us to do once you believe you're baptised, and also for me to say to the world, you can throw what you want at me from now, but I'm not on my own this time. I've got God with me.